What's up everyone, and today is the start of the 12 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! For the next 12 days leading till Christmas, I'll be doing updated deck profiles for the most viewed deck profiles for the last year. And Sofa Card is the first one I will be doing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, Appliancers actually did get some new support in the Brothers of Legend, but honestly, I'm not running any of it because I don't really like either of those cards. I just don't really think they're good, and they don't really do anything to power this deck up. But let's get started with the 3 Appliancer Socket Roll. Now, Socket Roll, if you control an Appliancer monster, you can spell summon this card from your hand. And if another Appliancer Socket Roll is special summoned while you control this monster, you can special summon one Appliancer Socket Roll from your deck. So in a way, it kind of becomes like a machine duplication. Also on D3, Copy Buckle. Copy Buckle, like Socket Roll, you can target one Appliancer monster you control, special summon this card from your hand so it summons itself in the hand. And if you do that, this card name becomes that monster's name until the end phase, which doesn't really change much of anything. And during this card, or during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, target Appliancer monster you control, special summon Appliancer monster with the same name from your hand or graveyard. Which is definitely really good because it can get you a little bit of recursion. It's like a Monster Born more or less, which is always good, especially in this deck. I also run the 3, Breaker Bunkle. Now, Breaker Bunkle is more or less a hand trap. Quick effect, you can discard this card. For that battle, that monster you control cannot be destroyed and you take no battle damage. And if an Appliancer monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. Now, I don't really use it for its effect. I mainly use it for its stats and the fact that it's a level 1. Since it's a level 1 and its attack is 0, its attack and defense is 0, it's perfectly usable with machine dupe. In fact, all these can work with machine duplication, and the fact that they're machine, you can also use Iron Call. In fact, for level 1, you can wear out Thou, 1 for 1. There's literally just so many extenders you can run in this deck. It's crazy. Also run 3 Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed, if you summon a Link monster, or if you Link summon a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal special summon, you can special summon one Parallel Exceed monster from your deck. So it's really good to get another body onto the field and to really go into some, just really start linking off, which is basically kind of what this deck build is more or less. It's Link spam. Next, I run 3 Destiny Hero Malicious and the 1 Destiny Hero Denier. Or not the 3 Malicious. Obviously, I can't run 3 because it's that 2, but I run the 2 Malicious and the 1 Denier. Yes, I do run the Phoenix Enforcer. I decided to run the Phoenix Enforcer over the Dragoon. While I think Dragoon is still a very powerful card, and it still very much is, it's just right now, between Phoenix Enforcer and Dragoon, sometimes Dragoon is better. It kind of really depends on the deck. For this one, for a Link spam deck, and the fact of how well it really works in tandem with a card like Cross Sheep. And, you also got the whole artifact combo. Like, it can just do so much more than just a simple negate and destroy. Speaking of artifacts, I run the 1 Artifact Scythe. If you don't know, since a Phoenix Enforcer can destroy 1 card on the field, you destroy your own Scythe, which you set with Artifact Dagda, to basically lock your opponent out of special summoning from the extra deck. Yeah, I feel like either Scythe or Dagda, and then on the next list is probably going to get banned. I really think between the 2 it should probably be Scythe, because they'll just be used again in some other degenerate way. Moving on to the spells, I run the 3 of the field spell, Appliancer Electrical World. If this card is activated, you can add 1 Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, except a field spell. And it has another cool, well, not really, it has another effect that doesn't really come up too much because you don't really run a whole lot of Appliancer Link monsters. But if you Link summon an Appliancer Link monster, you can add Appliancer monsters from your graveyard to the hand once per turn. You can add 1 Appliancer Link monster, add 1 Appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand. And once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can move 1 Appliancer monster you control to another of your main monster zones. I really run it for that first effect to search out that card. I run 3 Appliancer Reuse. It's Monster Reborn. Target Appliancer monster graveyard, special summon it. Place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. I also run the 2 Iron Call. They're machines, so Iron Call works just perfectly with them, as well as Monster Reborn and Relay Succession. We run lots of extenders. I also run 3 Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication, like I said before, literally works on all of the Appliancers because they all have low attack. In fact, the highest is Socket Roll's 100 attack. And Machine Dupe's just that good of a card. Special summon 2 copies of that monster from your deck. I run 3 Wear Out Thou. Wear Out Thou if you control a level 1 monster, add 1 level 1 monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn, but take 2,000 damage if you do not normal summon the added monster. Which, most oftentimes, I don't. But I also run the 1 for 1. I also run 3 Fusion Destiny to get out the Phoenix Enforcer, and thankfully, unlike Dragoon, it doesn't really have a whole lot of restrictions during the turn you activate it. It does after you activate it, but you still do all your combos and then just activate Fusion Destiny without having to go into Forte Anaconda, which is kind of like the one advantage over Dragoon. Like if you hard draw Red Eyes Fusion, you can't use it. But if you hard draw Fusion Destiny, that card's still going to be live. And I run the 1 Call by the Grave because you don't want to get hand trapped. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 1 Appliancer Laundry Dragon. I run the 1 Appliancer Laundry Dragon. Laundry Dragon is this card. If this Collian card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. So it's kind of like an Eater of Millions if it's co-linked, which getting this card co-linked isn't really too hard to do. I also run the 1 Link Rubo. Oh yeah, that's the only Appliancer Link I run. Because honestly, I don't like the Appliancer Link monsters. The fact that they cannot be used for link material to turn their summon is what kind of really... That's why I don't run them. Honestly, if they could, then I'd probably be running more of them, but that restriction really is not good. Especially for Link 1s that don't do a whole lot. Also run the, of course, I already put it out on the field, but the 1 Link Rubo because I run a whole bunch of level 1s. It's just a good card. I run the 1 Area, the Water Charmer Gentle, just a good generic water Link monster. Also run the 1 Marine Status Coral Anemone. Coral Anemone you can actually be used in really any water-based deck because it just requires 2 water monsters, and then you can target 1 water monster with 1,500 more or 1,500 or less attack in your graveyard supposed to summon it. So basically any of your Appliancers. And maybe even some of your Link monsters. Next, I run the 2 Cross Sheep. I run 2 because sometimes I may want to use the Cross Sheep to link into something else, then I can bring back out another Cross Sheep for the Phoenix Enforcer. Because when a card is a fusion card is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Destiny Hero from your, or 1 level 4 or lower monster from your grave. Which is why it works so well in the tandem of Denier and Malicious. Because when Denier is summoned, you can take 1 of your Destiny Heroes that's in your graveyard and banish, put it on top of your deck. So basically, it allows you to reuse the effect of Malicious multiple times. I also run the 1 Vert Anaconda, just in case we don't open the Fusion Destiny. That way, that play is still always going to be live. I run the 1 Artifact Dagda. Dagda, if the effect of a monster... When an effect of another card on the field is activated quick effect, you can set 1 artifact monster from your hand or deck to your spell and trap zone. That's a spell, but destroy it during your opponent's end phase, but it's not going to be around that long. I run 1 Nightmare Unicorn. I mainly run this for access code fodder, and Nightmare Unicorn is just really good Link 3 monster. Of course, I run the 1 access code and the 1 Apollosa, which are very easy to get out in this deck. I run the 1 Assembled Nightingale, a Downard, and a Zeus, since we do run a bunch of level 1s, and of course, the 1 Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. That's it for this deck profile, and tomorrow I'll be covering Ritual Beasts, so look forward to that, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.